It's an illegal trade worth billions of dollars, with a complex supply chain stretching from Africa to the high streets of Hong Kong. The product in such demand is ivory, and is threatening the survival of Africa's elephants. I'm Steve Chow. On this episode of 101 East, we go undercover to follow the bloody trail of Africa's white gold and expose one of the biggest ivory laundering centers in the world.
They're an iconic symbol of Africa. These magnificent creatures are admired for their strength, power, and long white tusks. 35 years ago, 1.3 million elephants roamed this continent. Today, no more than 500,000 remain, with that number falling by the day.
Wanamfuata mpaka karibu, wanamshoot kwa bunduki, wanachukua shoka, wanakata kichwa kwa ajili ya kutoa meno.
The statistics are sobering. Between 2011 and 2013, poachers killed 100,000 African elephants. An estimated 30,000 continued to be slaughtered each year.
I'm terrified. If we don't do something, if we don't push hard, we would actually lose all the elephants.
Behind the crisis lies a trade so lucrative, it continues to thrive despite a global ban. Some call it white gold. Admired by the Chinese for centuries, ivory remains a highly prized status symbol today. And as incomes in China rise, so too does demand. From the grasslands of Tanzania to the high streets of Hong Kong and Shanghai, we uncover a complex and illegal transnational business driven by a brazen disregard for the law. Secret investigations reveal how smugglers ship ivory from Africa to Asia. How traders in Hong Kong use legitimate businesses to launder illegal stock. And how it's business as usual in China, despite a government clampdown. And while many in the trade make handsome profits, those at the bottom of the supply chain risk much for very little reward.
Hii ni kazi ni kweli ni hatari, na unapoonekanika unapigwa shaba tena.
Our investigation begins in southern Tanzania. The Selous Game Reserve is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the largest protected areas in Africa. But it has lost over 60% of its elephants in just 5 years. Just down the road from luxury safari tourist lodges stands a cluster of villages where poverty and poaching are a way of life. Some villagers have agreed to speak to us if we hide their identities. Robert has a young family to support.
Nimeanza kuinda kutokana na hali ya maisha ya kijijini hapa yalivyo, hatuna kazi.
On his last hunt, Robert and his fellow poachers killed 4 big elephants. Their haul, 140 kilos of ivory. For this, he got just $250 and a deadly encounter with rangers.
Kwa hiyo walivyotuona wale wa mbele kiongozi wale wawali, wakawashuti pale, sisi tukapata njia ya kurudi nyumbani. Wale walikuwa si chini ya miaka kama ya kwangu, hatukupishana sana, 35 hiyo, na wameacha watoto wawili.
Such stories are not uncommon. They're the reason why another villager, Joseph, decided to stop poaching.
Watu wengi wanakufa. Yaani sio mchezo, watu wengi wanakufa. Yaani kwa mwaka wanaweza kufika hata watu 10-15. Yaani watu wengi wanakufa, kusema ni hatari sana sasa hivi.
Desperately poor villagers form the foundation of a complex supply chain. Just above them are local coordinators like this man, with links to ivory traders in the city.
Kijana na mkulima, kwa yeye nikimkabidhi ile fungu, anajua jinsi ya utaratibu wa kwenda kufanya kazi. Nikirudi huko anikabidhi mzigo.
Simon pays between $20 to $25 for a kilogram of ivory and then sells the tusks to a middleman for around $35 a kilo.
Akija anapima zile kilo, jinsi nikishamkabidhi usafiri anajua yeye mwenyewe. Kuja kwenye saa 6 usiku anakuja na gari, anajua jinsi ya kutoka. Lakini mimi nasema unakuja mdinga hapa, anajua yeye. Sasa kama anakuja na polisi, anakuja na wanajeshi, anakuja na yeye, anajua yeye.
The tusks are then transported to transit centres like the port city of Dar es Salaam. Some of the stock winds up in tourist markets.
You like ivory?
My auntie, she likes in Hong Kong.
Can we show you some?
Yeah, can you?
Yes, have a seat. Walk.
Okay, thank you.
Here, despite a ban on the trade, foreign visitors are quickly asked if they are interested in buying ivory trinkets.
Bango.
Ivory as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything here, same materials.
But trinkets form only a small proportion of what these traders sell. The bigger deals happen outside the market. Inside another shop, a trader explains.
1 kilo is 250,000 shilling. Tourists is just small pieces. Businessmen, they buy a lot of tons of it. They show us the store where we can put it, and then their customers, you know, they come there and then they take it. They know how they can shift it.
Throughout our time in Tanzania, one group is repeatedly singled out as a major consumer of ivory.
The big customers is from Chinese.
In an undercover meeting in Dar es Salaam, researchers from NGO, the Environmental Investigation Agency, are told that some of these customers are very big indeed. According to an ivory trader and a freight manager, when China's President Xi Jinping visited Tanzania in 2013, Chinese delegates went on an ivory buying spree.
When he was here, many kilos go out. Many kilos. Half of his plane gold that they are many.
How do you know?
With the escort. You know, they buy from us. The officers buy from us. Yeah, with the escort, my friend. With the escort to airport.
We asked China's ambassador to Tanzania about the allegations.
EIA 是个造谣机构，是个唯恐天下不乱的机构，是个无良的、无道德的一个机构，是一个凭空制造谣言的，是个极其卑鄙的人。
There is no direct evidence linking President Xi's entourage to the ivory trade. But a search on Interpol's database of wanted persons throws up this name, Deng Jiyun. Deng is a former employee at the Chinese consulate in Zanzibar, a semi-autonomous region in Tanzania. Wanted by Tanzanian authorities for illegally trading in ivory, his current whereabouts remain unknown. Zanzibar is a short plane ride from Dar es Salaam. Researchers from the EIA visited late last year. They had received credible information that Chinese sea cucumber traders were involved in ivory smuggling. Posing as potential buyers, they arranged a meeting with one such trader. This previously unreleased footage reveals what transpired.
We went into his storeroom where he had sacks and sacks of sea cucumber waiting to be exported. And in front of us, there was this bag, this very distinguishable bag that we have seen before in a photo of a seizure back in 2011 that took place in Hong Kong. This bag had got this baby head on it, and these bags were actually for iodated salt that was used to process sea cucumber. From then on, we knew that we were on the right trail.
Their suspicions were confirmed the next day. Over dinner, the trader offered them ivory.
包括一切搞定，差不多300块美金。
你说像300块1公斤
美金，还得给一个1万块钱美金的量。 他得拿配料啊。
哦，备什么料啊？
人家就首先就得问你对方的公司啊，他喜欢贝壳啊，还是黄豆啊，还是什么什么，还是藏在里面的，给他香港的地址啊，收货地址啊，他就给你装了，装完了之后
还要经过香港，不能直接到那个
福建，应该不是。
Zanzibar port is a known transit hub for illegal ivory. According to the trader, customs officials are easily bribed. There's even a standard fee, $70 for each kilogram of illegal stock they let through. Wildlife campaigners say corruption continues to undermine anti-poaching efforts.
Even though the government is trying to do whatever they're saying they're doing, some individuals who must be benefiting one way or the other are not doing their job.
In September 2010, customs officials in Hong Kong seized 384 elephant tusks hidden inside 2 containers filled with anchovies. But what they didn't realize was that this was just part of a much bigger shipment of ivory. The truth only emerged 4 years later when EIA investigators met the Zanzibari shipping agent in charge of the cargo. He had spent a month in prison following the seizure, but was never charged.
I don't know nothing, but I'm telling I don't know nothing. I apply permit for the small fish, I got permit and I made export. The end of the day it was ivory inside, but I don't know.
According to his account, there was a Chinese trader who approached him about shipping 5 containers of dried fish from Zanzibar to Hong Kong.
When 2 of those 5 containers were seized in Hong Kong, the shipping agent was instructed to divert the remaining 3 to Malaysia. But despite the crucial role he played in moving the ivory, the shipping agent said he was kept in the dark and never given a cut of what was likely a lucrative deal.
After we spoke to him about ivory, he actually, suggested to us that we should partner up doing ivory together. Why do you want to do the ivory business?
True.
Yeah.
Money is good?
Money, because of money. Money
Is it good?
Too much, yes. Too much money.
Hong Kong boasts one of the biggest, busiest ports in the world, handling nearly 200,000 vessels and 22 million cargo containers a year. It's also a key transit hub for smugglers transporting ivory from Africa to China. Between 2000 and 2014, customs officials seized some 33 tons of ivory taken from an estimated 11,000 elephants.
If that's how much was seized, because they're checking 1% of the cargoes, that's how much was seized and how much was not seized.
Hong Kong says it's taking action. Last year, authorities started incinerating confiscated ivory. More recently, the government pledged to tighten border controls.
We are determined to curbing illegal poaching of elephants and ending illegal trade in elephant ivory.
Hong Kong isn't just a transshipment hub. It also boasts one of the world's biggest legal ivory markets. But there's a catch. The bulk of the stock on sale can't be taken out of the city. Some shops we visit offer up a few creative solutions.
你在外邊加些衣服，只有俾他看見。
那是方不行。那说什么？没办法告诉。
Ivory trading was banned in Hong Kong in 1989, but with one exception. Special licenses were granted to businesses which held the existing stock of 665 tons. With almost no new imports allowed into the city, the ivory stockpile shrunk over the years. But curiously, the stockpile has barely gone down since 2010.
There's something funny going on in the market. Ivory traders might be supplementing their stocks with poached ivory taken from illegally killed elephants in Africa. Especially this last 5-year period is quite important because that's a time of great growth in Hong Kong tourism numbers. It went up from 30 million tourists to 61 million tourists in 2014, of which 47 million were from mainland China. There was a report that came out recently by Save the Elephants NGO. The main finding of the report was that 90% of people who buy ivory in Hong Kong are from the mainland.
To test the theory, we visit one of Hong Kong's more established ivory wholesalers. We tell the proprietor we want to buy legal ivory. He says we've come to the right place. Not all traders are able to provide the right paperwork.
等于就是他没有 record 在渔农区那边，
它是非法的，
没有证，就是
因为我们那个小手指啊，就是肾的反射。
不是他可能有，但是他没办法做到，明白也不知道怎么做。
He then goes on to explain how certificates for legal, registered ivory can be used to disguise illegal imports.
你比如说买了一批料，有证的料，对不对？
对。
买了证的料的时候呢，你可能呢有一些卖出去了，对不对？卖出去有的那个人呢，他没有向你拿那个证嘛，没有人，对不对？那又嫌麻烦嘛，那变成呢。 人家那个东西不是跟你买的原料，然后呢，他做好东西啊，很便宜卖给你，对不对？很便宜卖，哎，你反正自己手上有证的嘛，他就把这个东西当成你自己的料，明白吗？
他您是不是卖象牙的？
有象牙。
Inside another shop, traders show us a pile of what they say is pre-convention African ivory. The term refers to ivory harvested before 1976, the year the African elephant was listed under an international convention regulating trade in endangered species. Only this type of ivory can be commercially exported out of Hong Kong.
My client asked me to find something like this.
We tell them we're buying on behalf of a rich businessman who hopes to ship the goods out of Hong Kong.
It comes with full sets of documents.
Okay.
We have to, if you want to, how to say, for example, you need to export. You can apply a license.
Okay.
By them, how to say, we call them agricultural and fishery department.
Your tasks are legal, right?
Absolutely, 100%. You can double check before you buy with government office. They will let you know exactly.
At this stage, it all seems perfectly legitimate. But when we return a few days later with more questions, things get a little murkier.
你要合法的还是犯法的？犯法的还可以。哎呀，你反正印尼都是塞一点钱就可以的了嘛。都是这样子的嘛。你所谓。
As we're leaving, the trader offers us some of his smuggling contacts.
那你要走私到大陆去，我可以给你介绍谁可以帮上这个。但是一般牙我们自己不想做的，是本身不想做。就介绍你说了对啊，你发生了问题，政府在注意我，那就麻烦了。
China has promised to phase out the sale of ivory. In February, it announced a one-year ban on the import of carved products. A few months later, authorities there destroyed more than 600 kilograms of confiscated ivory.
如果这个我们正在做评估，如果我们觉得这个政策能够持续下去，我们将继续严持这项政策。
But the trade blatantly continues. A simple search online takes us to advertisements from Chinese companies soliciting African ivory. Many are based in Shanghai. We travel to the city and make contact. Our cover story that we have access to 20 kilos of African ivory, which we hope to sell in China. We also say we're new to the business.
但是国内不是查得很严吗？
其实并不是那么严，只是法律上是这么严。
但是我看到有新闻也报道了这个事情，然后我网上搜这些信息也搜不到。
但是我们自己毕竟也是做这个的，严不严我们大家也知道，确实有点严。但是私下的话，也有很多人这样去做。
但是我之前我们在网上看新闻，有好多出境的都被查到了，就是有人几百公斤的都被查到了。
对，也有没查到。我这边有客户都是从国外私进的，我有的客户是大批量的，几百公斤的，他都是有自己的渠道的。
他那个几百公斤是怎么走？是自己的行李这样去运吗？还是怎么运？
没有，就是私下的找，因为他的话是专业做这个的，你这样的话是没办法跟他比的。
Our so-called lack of professionalism doesn't stop this and another company from agreeing to meet with us. We head to an area northwest of central Shanghai. The first company we visit is an arts and antiques dealer called Hang Feng. The representative we meet gets straight down to business.
我们只是一手牵手过来，也是在我公司交流，老师看过之后，我们现在就要非洲象牙，就要非洲象牙，为什么？现在只要非洲象牙，其他的象牙不要，因为现在市场上就非洲象牙好。你先合作一下，要不然万一真出事了，你到时候不好办，对吧？你少带一点过来，比较稳当，比较妥当一点。 对吧？不一定是第一次合作，再说了，你这个东西属于走私。
The second company also appears to be dealing in arts and antiques. It's a hive of activity. Our meeting takes place in a crowded showroom.
你手边讲话方不方便？有点担心。别理他，他又没事。不是，毕竟我们这个不是那种很合法的东西。
不是合法的东西，他也不是警察，没关系，他也是过来找我们。
那现在也不可能搞得到那个证明的那个东西啊。那不是以前
在我们公司发的吗？公司可以啊，我们公司可以。
你们公司可以那个是这样吗？
对，我们就是只要东西委托到我们公司，然后由我们公司以公司的这个名义来做这个事情，是可以达得到的。
The final stop in our investigation is the city of Fuzhou, south of Shanghai, in China's Fujian province. The warehouse we're visiting belongs to a trader and artist who also has operations in Hong Kong and Paris. We tell him that we're acting for a rich businessman who is interested in buying more than 10 elephant tusks. He shows us his stock, which he says was acquired legally in 2008 when 4 African countries auctioned off seized ivory. This is all that's left of the 11 tons he bought. Throughout our meeting, the trader is careful to show that he's only interested in doing legal business. Despite the possibility of a large order, he repeatedly says he's not interested in smuggling ivory. But then, just before we leave, he suggests another way we can obtain ivory.
还有一个途径就是打猎，我那北京的朋友有做这个生意，就是说他是可以负责，就是说你打猎，就是说一定有一头象，就是说是好像是8、9万美金吧。 就是说，他给你就手续全部办。
哦，那你自己去？
你自己过去请当地的猎手去打象，打完了以后呢，这个象牙呢，你可以带回去作为一个旅游纪念。
这是合法的。
这是合法的。
It's a sobering realization. For all the laws regulating the ivory trade, there's a perfectly legal way to shoot an elephant and take its tusks. As long as buyers are willing to pay, someone somewhere will find a way to get them their white gold. And with poaching still a problem, these animals face greater danger than ever before. If nothing is done to reverse the tide, Africa's wild elephants could be gone in just a few decades.